All right. It's close enough to start in time. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So, it's like we've made it through the audit. Congratulations. A little hand clap for you. The audit's kind of a rough deal, but if you're behind, it's a great way to get caught back up in it. So, pros and cons, I guess. But now that we're through the audit, we've just wrapped up Module 1. That's not good. Sorry to hear that, Leah. So we're getting ready to start Module 2 today. So we're getting ready for 201, which is flexibility. So that's what we are going to be going over today, flexibility. So we can just go ahead and jump into it. Flexibility activity. So flexibility is an important but often neglected part of an exercise program. The importance of flexibility for health and well-being becomes important with age. The older you get, the stiffer you get, and your range of motion is just going to kind of get worse and worse unless you work at it and you work on stretching and keeping yourself as flexible as you can. So some fundamentals of flexibility. It's not the same as stretching. Stretching will help you, but we're not talking necessarily about the same thing. So flexibility is the range of motion in a joint or joints as used to reflect flexibility at that joint. So ROM, range of motion, is the extent and direction a specific vocabulary is used to describe the movement of joints. So flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, internal and external rotation, etc. There's several different words used to describe different kinds of range of motion flexibility. So common movements, you've got flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and rotation. So you can see from the images here, flexion and extension. If you hold your hand out here, let me turn my little camera on. You see me? Got our hand up here. That turning it down is flexion. Going up is extension. Flexion, extension. Another one of extension is bending at the knee. If you extend it out, or elbow. This is flexion, extension. Right? And adduction and abduction is your hip. So if your feet close together, that is adduction. And when you move your leg out, that is abduction. Okay? Rotation, your shoulder, rotation. All right. Your knees pop every time you bend them. Yeah, Mine like to do that too. Ouch. That hurts, Alex. Mm. Okay, so no worries, no worries. All right, flexibility fundamentals continued here. So the unique nature of the different joints causes some to allow for greater mobility than others. Ball and socket joint, hinge joint. Right. So ball and socket would be like your shoulder or your hip. Hinge joints are your knees, your elbows. Range of motion at a joint depends on how it's being assessed. Static, without movement, or dynamic, is active functional activity. So factors that influence flexibility, anatomy. So long muscle tendon units or MTUs, properties of connective tissue and muscle, types of joints, all those things factor influencing your flexibility. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Genetics play into your flexibility, if you have loose joints or not. Um, Lack of use or misuse. So if you're not being active and stretching out and using your joints, or you're misusing them, like if you're working out the wrong way, health orientation and PE. That's what HOPE stands for. So let's say you're doing bench press, but the way you're doing it is uh, putting too much weight on your shoulder joint. Like you're up, let's see here. If you're doing bench and your arms are way up high, you could hurt your shoulders. If you keep it down low, you're using your arms more. And so if you're misusing it and you're putting lots of weight on and you're keeping your arm up here where it's all coming into your joints, absorbing more of that instead of down here where it's more your muscles and your arms and your chest, that's misuse and can cause issues with your joints and then flexibility uh, down the road. Your race can play into it. Your age can play into your flexibility. So an influence on age on flexibility. As you can see from the chart, your flexibility and stuff kind of goes up and then it just starts just kind of keeps shooting down. But if you also notice that your physical activity also kind of goes up and that goes down too. So if people aren't being active, that probably goes hand in hand with the lack of flexibility that's coming too. So maybe if you keep the physical activity more um, straight across, then maybe your flexibility would go with it. So the health benefits of flexibility. There no ideal standard for flexibility exists. Necessary for optimal posture. Extremes of inflexibility and hyperflexibility increase the likelihood of injury. May help prevent muscle strain and such orthopedic problems as back pain. Stretching may help to relieve muscle cramps, stiffness, and some local or referred pain. So, flexibility and back pain. Short and tight muscles cause poor posture, which leads to back pain. So, if you're not good and flexible, you won't be standing up straight. You'll get more of a bend in your back where these short muscles are, and that's going to put tension on your spine and cause back problems. Long and strong muscles keep the body in good alignment and reduce the risk of back pain. So here you see the muscles are longer and stretched out. There's no bend, like there, the back, it's bending. On this one, everything's more straight up and down and looks good in the leg muscles and the back muscles. And keeps the back pain from being an issue. So stretching is probably ineffective in preventing muscle soreness. Overstretching may make a person susceptible to injury or hamper performance. Now, I don't know. Stretching may not necessarily make your muscles not be sore, but it will help keep them not all bunched up. So when you go into an exercise, if they're stretched out and they're warmed up, they may not be pain free. Like if you just start working out, there's still gonna be some soreness, but you're gonna be able to do more, and you're not gonna there's less chance of you injuring yourself if you're stretched out. So there's some different stretching methods. You have static stretching, which is active assistance, passive assistance, ballistic. So static stretching, safer, less likely to cause injury. Stretch slowly until tension. Hold stretch for 10 to 30 seconds. Then you relax the muscle. You relax the muscle, usually like shake the muscle, shake your leg, shake your arm, kind of get it loose, and then increase the stretch again a bit more. So static stretching, we have active and passive stretching. So the static stretch is passive here, self-assisted, partner assisted, gravity assisted. That's where you're just holding it in place. Ballistic stretching, active stretching is where you're moving it back and forth as you stretch it out. So ballistic, dynamic movement, specificity of movement involves, it can help athletes in certain sports since the dynamic nature of the movements may more closely reproduce the natural movements of the activity. This is not recommended for an average person seeking just to improve their flexibility, this active stretching. You want to do the passive stuff. So PNF combines active and passive methods. Most effective method for improving flexibility, promotes an increase in strength. So the PNF stretching technique, you want to do the crack method, contract the muscle, relax the muscle for a few seconds, contract for 15, and then relax. So how much flexibility is enough? How much stretching is enough? How much is enough? Stretching exercises should be done regularly to achieve optimal benefits. For flexibility to be increased, you must stretch and hold muscles beyond normal length for an adequate amount of time. Performing warm-up exercises is not the same as doing stretching workout for flexibility development. The best time for stretching is when the muscles are warm. So you need to move around, go for a really light jog, get your muscles kind of warmed up, then stretch. Don't do it cold. You don't want to tear anything. So you want to maintain a stretch for 10 to 30 seconds, which will allow the stretch reflex to subside and permit gains. So the FIT formula for static stretching is frequency 3 to 7 times per week, intensity 10% beyond normal length of muscle, and time 15 to 60 seconds, 3 to 5 reps. Rest 30 seconds between reps. So some flexibility-based activities, yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates are some of the things. Does anybody do any of those things? Anybody doing yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, any of that? Galen does yoga. Eileen, sometimes. All right, cool. No Pilates or Tai Chi? Just a couple yoga masters, huh? Do you warm up? That probably would be smart to go on a little jog, get your muscles kind of warmed up before you do yoga and you're really stretching yourself out. Muay Thai? I don't think so. So some stretching aids and technology. Stretching ropes make it easier to execute and hold stretches properly. Foam rollers can improve strength, balance, and flexibility. And guidelines for safe and effective stretching. Do not force the stretch to a point of pain. Choose safe exercises. Avoid overstretching weak muscles. Use good technique. And summary. Flexibility is often neglected. It's joint specific, many influencing factors, many health benefits. Static stretching is the most widely recommended Should be doing it 3 to 7 days per week. So that is stretching and flexibility. That is the lesson that is due for the day. Thursday, remember, is a help session. So if you have any questions, bounce in and I will help you out. Outside of that, I think we're pretty well done. So you guys have a great rest of your day.